What if I told you there was an empire so obsessed with information that it could discover an invasion before the enemy even finished planning it? An empire where merchants weren't always merchants, monks weren't always monks, and diplomats often carried secrets more valuable than gold. Imagine living in a world where one whispered conversation in a crowded marketplace could decide the fate of an entire civilization. This wasn't fantasy. This was the Byzantine Empire. For over 1,000 years, while kingdoms rose and collapsed around it, Byzantium somehow survived. Not because it had the biggest armies, not because it had the strongest walls, but because it often knew what its enemies were going to do before those enemies did it. The Byzantine intelligence network became one of history's most effective systems of espionage. Invisible, patient, and terrifyingly efficient. Tonight, we're uncovering the Empire's greatest spies, the mission's history almost forgot, and the secret war that was fought without swords, because sometimes the most dangerous weapon was simply knowing the truth. The Byzantine Empire had a problem. Actually, it had dozens. To the east stood the Persian Empire. Later came the Arab Caliphates, then the Bulgarians, the Rus, the Normans, the Seljuk Turks, eventually the Ottoman Turks. Enemies surrounded Byzantium from nearly every direction. Fighting everyone at once was impossible. The empire simply didn't have enough soldiers. So instead of relying only on military strength, it relied on information. If an enemy planned an invasion, the emperor wanted to know months beforehand. If a rival king had financial troubles, Constantinople wanted the details. If a foreign general hated his ruler, someone in Byzantium wanted to recruit him. Knowledge wasn't just power, it was survival. Unlike modern intelligence agencies, the Byzantines didn't have one official spy organization. Instead, they built a web. Merchants crossed borders every day. Pilgrims visited holy sites across continents. Monks traveled between monasteries. Diplomats attended foreign courts. Sailors visited distant ports. Every traveler became a possible source of intelligence. Many never considered themselves spies, yet every conversation, every rumor, every observation could eventually reach Constantinople. Government officials carefully collected reports. Information was compared. Contradictions were removed. Patterns began to appear. One merchant noticing unusual grain purchases meant little. 10 merchants reporting the same thing suggested an army was preparing for war. The Byzantines understood something intelligence agencies still know today. One report is gossip. Many reports become evidence. Some of Byzantium's greatest spies never hid their identities. They were ambassadors, official representatives, welcomed into royal courts, invited to feasts, allowed to observe. While discussing peace treaties, they quietly counted soldiers, estimated food supplies, measured city walls, studied political rivalries, learned which nobles hated each other. They remembered everything. Returning home, they delivered reports that could fill entire books. Sometimes their information prevented wars. Other times, it helped Byzantium prepare devastating strategies. The emperor wasn't simply sending diplomats. He was sending professional observers. The Byzantines discovered something cheaper than war: bribery. Why fight an army when you could convince its commander not to? Gold often accomplished what swords could not. Border governors accepted gifts. Enemy officials leaked military plans. Tribal leaders switched alliances. Foreign princes secretly supported Byzantine interests. The empire spent enormous sums on diplomacy. Critics called it weakness. History proved otherwise. Every battle avoided saved thousands of lives. Sometimes the greatest victory was the battle that never happened. During the reign of Emperor Basil II, Byzantine intelligence reached extraordinary levels. Known as the Bulgar Slayer, Basil fought decades of war against Bulgaria, but victories didn't come through brute force alone. Scouts constantly monitored enemy movement. Local informants tracked supply routes. Captured prisoners revealed valuable details. Messengers intercepted communications. Every piece of information reached military commanders. Basil rarely marched blindly. His campaigns became exercises in preparation rather than luck. When decisive victories came, they often reflected years of intelligence gathering, not a single brilliant battle. Being a Byzantine spy offered no glory, no statues, no celebrations. Many operated alone, far from home. One mistake meant imprisonment, torture, or execution. If captured, the empire might deny knowing them altogether. History remembers emperors, generals, saints, but the anonymous people who crossed borders carrying dangerous secrets often disappeared without leaving even their names behind. Yet their work quietly changed history again and again and again. Eventually, even the Byzantine Empire fell. Constantinople finally collapsed in 1453. No intelligence network could stop every enemy forever, but for more than 1,000 years, while mighty empires vanished, Byzantium endured, not simply because of walls or armies or wealth, but because it mastered information. It understood a timeless truth. The side that knows more usually survives longer. And perhaps the greatest Byzantine spies accomplished something even greater than winning wars. They helped keep an empire alive for over a millennium. An empire that proved sometimes history is shaped, not by the people everyone sees, but by the people no one ever notices. Because in the end, the greatest victories are often won before the battle even begins. If you enjoyed uncovering history's hidden secrets, subscribe for more untold stories from the world's greatest civilizations.